hire Dan Quinn to match with their new general manager, Adam Peters, to lead this franchise into the future.
The way that we live is not for everybody, okay? It's not, all right? Because we're going to run and put our bodies on people in a violent manner.
Whether the team is giving us the highest of highs or the bluest of blues, we cover it all here on Commanders Nightly News. I, of course, am your host, Louie T. Thank you for joining me. Let's get to tonight's lead story. So the time has arrived. This time tomorrow, we will be mere hours away from the Commanders' divisional round contest versus the Detroit Lions. This season has been a movie, and it has had plot twists. It has had epic scenes, but it's not done yet. And I don't think the ending is on Saturday night. But let everyone else tell it. The ending is on Sunday night or Saturday night. We got a chance to do something that practically nobody else outside of our fan base believes we can do, and a select few others think we can do. And look, we don't get to play the disrespect card. That's not what this is. The Lions earned the right to be 10-point favorites in this game. They're 15-2, okay? They were in the NFC Championship game a season ago. They were the best team in football for much of this season and the best team in the NFC practically the entire year. They're the number one seed, have the best record in football, tied with the Kansas City Chiefs. They deserve to be where they are. None of their trash talk, none of their bravado or confidence has rubbed me the wrong way this entire time. Their ignorance is bliss. They don't know about us. Why would they? They didn't play us this season. They could care less about what the Commanders were doing. They don't know about Jaden Daniels. They haven't been following us. They've been too busy basking in their own 15-2 glow. I don't blame them for that. If it were us, we'd be the same way. But guess what? They can be touched. They can be got. They're not invincible. They're a damn good football team. And make no mistake about it, we can get our asses whooped in this game, okay? It's a 10-point spread for a reason. We could go into Detroit with all this confidence, show up, and get our asses smacked around and lose that game 37-20. It could happen. And as disappointed as I would be, I wouldn't be surprised if it did. That's a good football team over there. And that's a complete team. Even though they've got injuries defensively, that's a complete squad. But you and I both know that's not how this story ends. Now, we may not win on Saturday night, but this story doesn't end with a blowout ass whooping to finish up a 13-5 season and to finish up 13-6 and go out with a whimper. It's not how this thing's supposed to go. This team's fought all year long. This team has put themselves in a position to win every single game that they've been in, even the losses. Sans for week 1. We've been in every single game. All 4 losses that have come after week 1, we've been in that game with a chance in the fourth quarter. And I don't see that changing now. Nobody else believes. But that's good. That's cool. We don't need anybody else. All we need is us. All we got is us. Am I my brother's keeper? But on a serious note, we have a chance to shock the world. And in the course of doing that, we have a chance to thrust Jaden Daniels into rookie quarterback lore. and we have a chance to thrust him into NFL quarterback superstardom, and there's no turning back. What CJ Stroud did was cool. And they're like, wow, this was really impressive. But we all knew that road ended in the second week of the postseason, right? We all understood that was cool. Beating the Browns at home, but going on the road is a different animal. We already did that once. That's the thing, right? There's a difference between winning a home playoff game. Anybody could do that. Not to minimize winning a playoff game. Anybody can win a home playoff game. You sleep in your own bed. You're playing in front of your home crowd. Anybody can do that. It takes a special individual. You want to know why Eli Manning was so hard to beat in the postseason? It's a special kind of quarterback that's wired a particular way to be able to go on the road. and it'll make sense when I'm done explaining this to you. You want to know why Eli Manning was so dangerous in the postseason? The Giants were never good in the regular season. Never good enough to win the division. Never good enough for Eli to get home playoff games. Eli, every time he won a chip, had to go on the road and get it out the mud. And you know why Eli was so effective in those moments? Because Eli Manning was stoic. Remember we used to talk about the Eli face? Eli would always look like that's not funny. I'm not going to say that. But Eli would always look like he didn't understand the seriousness of the moment. Kind of like he was just, for lack of a better term, oblivious to the moment. You want to know another guy that was unfazed by the moment? Joe Flacco. Want to know why he's got the most playoff road victories of any quarterback in NFL history? I did not stutter. That would be Joe Flacco if someone asked you that trivia question. You want to know why? Because what do we always say about Joe? Joe could play horrible for 57 minutes of a ball game, but if you gave it to Joe at the end, Joe was going to be unflappable. He was going to be unfazed by the first 57 minutes, wipe it from the memory bank, and he was going to go out there and he was going to bless you at the very end. Joe Flacco was unchained, right? Unshackled by his clutterless mind. Because you couldn't look at Joe's face and tell if they were up by 15 or down by 15. That's why Joe was so special in those moments. It takes a special individual to go on the road and bless somebody. Everybody's not built for that kind of life. Well, guess what? We've already done it once. So you know good and well that Detroit environment ain't going to spook us one bit. Damn sure ain't going to spook Jaden. We'll talk more about that environment and what needs to be done. But here's all you need to know. We're 60 minutes away from doing something that we haven't done as a fan base, as an organization. You couldn't get us to think like this 3 years ago, 2 years ago. Shit, this time last year, we weren't having these types of thoughts. But here we are, less than a year removed from all of the changes that took place last offseason. And we're here talking about 60 minutes standing between us and the NFC Championship game. You get there. And Jaden Daniels is thrusted into a realm that none of us could have seen possible when he made his first career start versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers back on September the 9th or 10th or whenever it was. Hell, we already know what he is. It's funny how many people are upset at how great this kid is so fast. People get mad when you skip steps. It's okay. People get upset. We got Rams fans chiming in. Don't be mad because your team about to get curb stomped by the Eagles. That ain't my problem. I'm rooting for you. I'm not the enemy, right? I just don't think you're good enough to beat them. Don't be mad at me. And don't be mad at me because I said you didn't want to smoke with us. You didn't. You didn't want to smoke with Jaden. But that's nor here nor there. We're not playing you unless you beat them and we beat Detroit. Then you become our problem and we become your problem. But it's so many fan bases. The Bears fan base is upset about Jaden's ascension, right? So many people are upset because our QB skipped steps. This is all you need to know. We got a killer at quarterback, a cold-blooded assassin, as I like to call him. He got the same mindset as a Jordan or a Kobe. Game on the line, give it to me. I know what to do with it. It ain't a lot of those in the league. Probably can count that on one hand. But we got one of them. We got one of them ones. And if given the opportunity on Saturday night, he'll prove it again. Saddle up, ladies and gentlemen. Kids, women, children of all ages, saddle up. We're going on another ride. And this one is for the opportunity to go to the NFC Championship game. Are you ready? I damn sure am. Anybody, anywhere, anytime. Let's get it. In other news, Bobby Wagner had the mic on Sunday night against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I was fiending for this. Like, remember I told you guys yesterday, like, man, I don't know what they waiting on. If they got it mic'd up, why they ain't put it out already? They had me over here scratching like a fiend, jonesing over here like, yo, what's really good with that? You got it or what? I don't know why they waited so long to put it out, but they put it out. And when I tell you I've been fiended up, like, these shits are like must-see TV for me. Like, almost everything that the Commanders' social media team puts out now is must-see TV. But these mic'd ups, and they've been getting longer and longer. Bobby's was over 14 minutes long. These joints started out being like 6 and 7. And obviously it depends on who you have. And they'll, determine how much content they give you. But, and Bobby isn't a man of many words, but they got 14 minutes out of Bobby, right? I went and I got me some refreshments, okay? I went and got my cashews and my almonds, and I went and got me a smoothie, and I sat down and enjoyed my beverage and my snack while I watched this. I went and got me a snack, seeing it. Oh, shit, they put it out? All right, let me go get me a snack and sit down and watch it. That's how they've trained me now, right? It was a good 14 minutes, man. You love to see the leadership that Bobby brings to the table, and you understand why this team has been, so successful this year. From the practice squad guy, the young rookie, and you can tell the guys that you can always tell who's in the room with the player that's mic'd up because there's a special bond because you're in that room with me every day, right? Like, a guy that was a huge part of this mic'd up was rookie Dominique Hampton. And you're thinking there's a lot of conversation going on between Dominique Hampton and Bobby Wagner, but he's a linebacker. He's in that linebacker room. So they share a bond, right? When you watch Jaden, a lot of conversation between he and Sam Hartman. And you're like, yo, why the hell is Sam Hartman so much a part of this? Because they share a bond. They're in the same room together, right? May not be on the field a ton, but guess what? They talk all the time. They joke with each other all the time. They got a close relationship. They spend more time with each other than anybody else on the field, on the team rather, because they're in that same quarterback room. So you saw that with Dominique Hampton. Bobby even gave him, that fumble ball, and Dominique was like, "That was for me? Oh well, I'm gonna get that." Like he did these things. I thought you was giving it to me to tell them to hold it for you. He's like, "Nah, that's yours. You'll never forget that." He's like, I won't." Let's go, champ. Come on, champion. Let's go, champ. Come on, champ. Let's go, champion. That's Bobby's jump. That's his jump right there, right? That's his jank. Champ. That's what he calls people. And I've been seeing that a lot lately. Like I know Carmelo Anthony, calls people champ. I see some dudes doing that. that's funny to me. But that's his term of endearment. Champion. He's just a good dude, man. I love his energy on the sidelines. He's one of those guys, first guy off the sideline, good, bad, or indifferent. Made a field goal, missed a field goal, got a stop, didn't, or offense got stopped, offense scored a touchdown. He right there, right? He one of the first dudes to greet you coming off the field. He's engaged in the game. A lot of these dudes, they don't know what's going on. They on the bench. They sitting down. They not paying attention. They running their mouth. They might look up at the little jumbotron and kind of keep tabs on what's going on. But he's standing up. He's locked in. He's seeing what's going on. There's a different level of focus. And he was explaining it to Dominique Hampton. He was like, bro, people try to trick you into thinking that playoff football is different. It's the same shit. It's just you got to be locked in and block out the outside noise. They trying to convince you that it's different. He said, I tell y'all the same thing about primetime games. Like, don't allow yourself to get sucked into, oh, it's a primetime game, we playing at night, and you get all amped up for it and you exhaust yourself. You should be playing at the same level, whether it's a 1 o'clock game, a 4:25 game, a 8 o'clock game, a Sunday night, a Monday night, a Thursday night. It shouldn't matter. A playoff game, you should be amped the same way. I remember Joe Witt Jr. saying this a while back. And that's kind of what Bobby was alluding to, right? It was not the exact same message, but it's, to me, leading you to the same point, which is if somebody has to give you more, like, Joe Witt said, when you're in the midst of a losing streak, guys stay later. He's like, I don't need to stay later. I'm already giving you everything I've got. I don't need to stay later. If I got to stay later to get us out of a funk, that means I wasn't giving you everything that I had before. I was cheating you before. Same concept. Not exactly the same thing, but it's the same concept. Like, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready, so to speak. Like, Bobby's like, no need in you trying to up your level for this game if you just stay consistent with how you prepare and how you play and how you lock in. It's just going to carry you all the way through, and you won't have to amp it up because there shouldn't be highs and lows. This shit shouldn't go up and down. Like, that's how you fall into the trap of playing a lesser opponent and playing down to their level. That's the shit that existed here for years. Not that we were any good, right? But we could never beat bad teams the way that we were supposed to. We kicked the dog shit out of bad teams this year. Because of guys like Bobby, because of the message from coaches like Joe Witt and head coach Dan Quinn of, hey, we're not going to ride the roller coaster. We're not doing that. Stay here. Stay medium. Stay even keel. Right? Stay in the moment. We can't worry about the next opponent. We got to take care of this one that's in front of us. Ain't no other fight more important than the one we in. That's the only fight. It's this one that we in. And that's why when you look at this game against Detroit, I know we got a chance. Because that's been the mentality all year. This shit ain't new to us. This shit true to us. This is our truth. We live in this shit. It was a good mic'd up, man. Enjoyed Bobby. Enjoyed seeing how guys respect him. There's an aura around Bobby Wagner. Us as fans, we were kind of like starstruck when he showed up. We was like, man, we got Bobby Wagner, right? And generally, when you get a guy at this stage of his career, you ain't getting the guy that is able to still affect games in the way that he was once upon a time. But Bobby's been able to affect games still. And he's a huge contributor. The guys respect him. They love him. And he's got respect for, others. Like when Levante got banged up, he was like, come on, Levante, be all right. You know what I mean? Like there's a brotherhood and a fraternity there. I also love his interactions with Ken Norton. You know, they go way back. Part of the reason he even came here was because of Ken Norton. So, they got a really special bond. It's almost like a father-son relationship. And he asked him, hey, how you make that play? How you know about that play? He said film study and good coaching. And then he looked at him like, man, get the fuck out of here with that shit. Like, yeah, all right. He tried to suck up to me. And Bobby started cheesing. And then Mikey comes over to him and is like, yo, that's 2 right there. He tapped him twice. That's 2 right there for being mic'd up and not saying nothing. And he like, how you know I was mic'd up? Look, first of all, Mikey's a Michigan man. And Mikey's head is always on a swivel. And Mikey's been mic'd up this season already, so he knows how it goes. He knows if the camera's following you, you mic'd up. And so he's paying attention to all of that. So B-Rad's like, how you know I'm mic'd up? And Bobby like, Mikey's like, don't worry about it. I know you mic'd up. And he's like, what you gonna do about it? You ain't gonna do nothing. You still a rookie. Like, he had to put him back in his place. Like, you ain't gonna do nothing about it. You still a rookie, right? B-Wags ain't tell nobody. Usually at some point, somebody either outs you, like, yo, why you ain't tell us you was mic'd up? I did tell you I was mic'd up. They try to act like they said something, but they ain't say shit. Or you just out the box. Hey, I'm the feds. Hey, I got the wiretap on or whatever, right? He ain't tell nobody nothing. Nothing. He just was mic'd up the whole time. And the only person that outed him was Mike, but he did it to Bobby, like in private. He ain't say nothing to Bobby out loud around other people. So that was pretty dope too, man. It was cool. You just seeing the interactions between him and all of the people, Greg Gaines, one of his former teammates in L.A., they were both there together for that 1 year Bobby was there. Said, you look old. He said, oh, but you going home though. Like Bobby's like, don't come at me with that old shit. He said, oh, okay. Well, you going home though. Like I got it. You gonna give me a jab. Take this one with you. Pop. Take that one with you, right? So Bobby quick with it. I love it. And then you could tell he a West Coast dude at heart. He's singing K-Dot on the sideline the whole entire game. He was singing K-Dot. So he West Coast through and through. Love the mic'd up. You tell me what you think. Leave it down in the comment section. Can't wait to see who will be mic'd up this week. And hopefully it ain't the last one, right? And hopefully we doing this again for the NFC Championship game next week. But speaking of which, I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. I kind of gave you the heads up yesterday, but I want to officially announce that the watch party is canceled. We just didn't get enough people, buying tickets. And it was just such short notice, right? Like, I was hoping that the Saturday nature of it, because so many people were like, yo, if this was on a Saturday, I would have been there. I was like, all right, well, we're going to put that theory to test. They was bullshitting, you know what I'm saying? And they weren't willing to come out. And my apologies to all of you who were willing to come out, because I know, like Swaggy P, for instance, you from NC, and you had bought 2 tickets, and you was down for the cause, right? You put your money where your mouth was. So, I appreciate those of you who did purchase tickets. Sucks that it wasn't able to go down, but it was short notice. We weren't able to do the things that we needed to do because of the condensed amount of time that we had. We weren't able to get sponsorships. We weren't able to promote this thing as long as we wanted to get more people to purchase tickets. Like everything was kind of thrown together last minute, and it just, the timing of it didn't allow us to put forth the type of event. And once you've done it a certain way, like those who came to that first one, that's the standard, right? You can't do it any less than that. That's the standard that's set. Like, that shit was dope. Great venue, good food, excellent drinks, convenience, security, everything you could ask for. Great vibe, everything. Like, it's only up from there. And if I can't ensure that, I'm not doing it. I'm a person that is big on integrity and I'm big on quality. And if I can't replicate that, we're not throwing some bullshit together. Yeah, that wouldn't be doing you guys any justice, and that's not a service. That's a disservice to y'all. So, what we are now in the process of doing is making sure that you guys get your refunds, and I will be reaching out to you guys to ensure that each and every single person that purchased tickets receives every single cent that they spent to get those tickets. So I'm in the process of doing that right now, and you guys will hear from me, and we're going to work as diligently and as efficiently as we can to get you back all of your money. So I will stay in contact. I have every single one of your emails who purchased tickets, and I will be reaching out to you as we kind of dot all our I's, cross all of our T's to make sure we get you back your money. Sorry that it couldn't happen, but I will still be live during the game and obviously live post game. So we're still going to have a good time, but we're not going to be able to do it in person. So just wanted to give you an update on that. So with that said, let's transition to the game plan. All right. And this is a big one. I don't need to explain to you the magnitude of this game. It's the biggest game that most of us as fans have been a part of in the last, 25 years. I mean, again, the only game I could equate this to was the Tampa game back in '99 for me as a fan. Because the 2012 team didn't make it out of the wild card game, and the 2005 team, I just didn't think we were good enough offensively. Even if we would have beaten, we could have beaten Seattle, but it would have been because of our defense. If Carlos Rogers catches that pick, and at the beginning of the game, it's 10-0. We might be able to beat them. Sean Alexander had got knocked out of that game. Like we would have had a legitimate shot to beat them, but I don't think we were good enough to win the following week. Maybe we would have been, right? I mean, Seattle won that next week. I forget who they ultimately played, and they went to the Super Bowl and lost to the Steelers. Maybe we could have. You couldn't tell me that we weren't if we had won. But I just remember how anemic we were offensively that year. By the time we got to the playoffs, Brunell could barely throw a 5-yard pass. Our receiving core was decimated by injury. And so we were a shell of ourselves offensively. We were hanging on by a thread, which is why we won the game the week prior against Tampa Bay with the least amount of total yards in a playoff win in NFL history. So I just didn't have a lot of confidence in that team's ability to score. But I am very confident in this team's ability to score. And so let's talk about what it's going to take for this team to get it done in the most improbable of situations. Nobody's giving us a chance. I told you we're double-digit underdogs, depending on what book you're looking at, but we're no less than a 9-point underdog wherever you're looking at. And it is amazing to see that despite all that Jaden Daniels has done, nobody's giving us a shot. Again, except a select few. Everybody's kind of hedging their bets like, hey, if this happens, and this happens, yeah, cool. Anybody can say that. But you ain't picking us to win, though. And I get that. But here's how we get it done. So let's start with the offensive keys to victory. First one. And I'm going with because, DQ's a boxing fan, much like myself. So I'm going with the fight game analogies for these keys to victory. And the first one is come out the opening bell swinging. Close the fight in championship rounds. Okay? So the first offensive key is come out the opening bell swinging. And then close the fight in championship rounds. In boxing, they consider the 10th, 11th, and 12th rounds to be the championship rounds. You want to win the fight is in the balance, go and dominate those 3 rounds. If the fight's close, and close the show and win the fight, right? But for me, I think it is imperative that you come out. This isn't one of those situations where you can kind of come out and feel the Lions out. You know, a lot of times in those championship fights, the first round, maybe even the first 2 rounds, it's a lot of circling, little jab here, jab there. Nobody really wants to be the first one to offload a big shot because you don't want to get caught slipping, right, with a counter. So you kind of feeling them out, seeing what they're doing, seeing the head movement, seeing, you know, the length of the jab, how you can time it up. All right, I see. After he throws this, he likes to go and do this. And so you're trying to kind of get a feel for what you can start to do. We don't have time for that shit in this game because they coming out throwing haymakers. They at home. Crowd is going to be raucous, okay? It's going to be loud. Those boys are juiced up in Detroit. They've been waiting on this shit. They got a chance to host the NFC Championship game for the first time in franchise history. Do you think they are going to come out of this thing reserved? Do you think they're going to come out quiet? They're going to be on 10 million to start this game. And we got to match that energy. We got to come out and we got to silence the crowd. I don't know if you peeped this on the Bobby Mic'd Up, but I thought we won the toss. We didn't win the toss. Tampa Bay won the toss and elected to receive. Yeah, that's disrespectful because you think you're going to set the tone on our ass. And Jeremy Reeves was like, yo, that's hella disrespectful. Bobby said 100%. Bobby told the defense, hey, they won the toss and they took the ball. They disrespecting us. Like, we need part of coming out swinging. We need to win the toss. Don't leave it to Detroit because I don't think Detroit's going to want the ball first. They're not looking to set a tone and a message. They're going to defer to the second half. We need to win the toss so we can defer to the second half. I want the ball after halftime. We're a really good first possession out of the half type of team. So to come out swinging in the opening bell requires you to match the energy of not only the Lions players on the field, but the crowd and the environment. You know, you go 3 and out on your first possession and it's gonna get louder. They're gonna be more raucous, right? You know, you got to shut them up early with a big play, with a series of first downs. Our tempo is going to have them, you know, you could quiet the crowd real quick. You make 1 or 2 plays, you go tempo, and quickly they'll learn to shut the hell up, you know. But you can't be behind the 8 ball. You can't be putting yourself in these ridiculous 3rd and long situations. You got to stay ahead of the sticks. You can't go broke making a profit. You got to stay in manageable down and distances, right? So what does coming out in the opening bell swinging look like for me? You can have an impactful 0 to 3 points in the first quarter or 7 to 10 points, right? So what does an impactful 0 to 3 points look like? The Tampa game, right? We didn't score a single point in the first quarter. We were trailing 3-0 in the first quarter. But we had a hell of a drive that we didn't finish, right? And I'm not advocating for that because I really feel like the red zone is going to be huge in this game, obviously. But that was an impactful drive. We sat the crowd down. We told them to shut up. We moved it down the field. We ate up clock, which helps us with time of possession. And we just didn't finish it. So while not scoring in the first quarter sucks, you took up a large part of the first quarter. You kept the ball away from Tampa Bay. They didn't score a bunch of points in the first quarter. That's an impactful 0 to 3 points. Really, you want 7 to 10 points in the first frame. Like, jump on them. Like, understand that. And I played you the clip of Logan Ryan talking about how the momentum early when you're coming off of a bye is key. If that team with momentum who won the week before comes out and punches you in the mouth early, oh shit. You know, you coming off a bye, you a little rusty, you a little rested. Remember the Saints game for us? Like, their defensive line punched our O-line in the mouth, and we was like, wait, what the hell? I was like, maybe that's just them coming off the bye. I didn't realize that that was a sign of things to come. But, you know, when you're coming off of a bye, it's a little different. Like Logan Ryan said, you love the rest. You love the bye nature of it. You didn't have to play in wild card weekend. You're already in the divisional round. You're one game away from the championship game. But that team's coming with momentum. And if you get caught slipping early, you can look up and it could be 7-0, 10-0. That's what I'm trying to be. That's the type of time I'm trying to be on. Catch these boys slipping coming out of the bye. They ain't never been here before. And let me tell you something else. There is immense pressure on Detroit. Pressure like you can't believe. This is why I told you we're the most dangerous team on this side of the bracket. We ain't got none of that shit. We playing with house money. Ain't we, Derek B? They don't win this game. Both offensive and defensive coordinators are gone. And just like that, you went from, man, we could be doing this shit every year to, I don't know how this shit is going to go in the future. You don't know. Ben Johnson is one of the best play callers in football. This could be it for them. Jared Goff could turn into a pumpkin after this. Aaron Glenn has done wonders with a defense that's patchwork due to injuries. No telling the next defensive coordinator is going to be great. They got to win. That pressure ain't on us. It's on them. We just getting started. Use that against them. You jump on them early, that pressure starts to mount. And just like I said last week, close the fight in championship rounds. Looks the exact same way it did against the Bucs. Outscore the Lions in the fourth quarter. That's how we won the game last week. We outscored Tampa Bay 10-3 in the fourth quarter. That's what won us the game. We were down 17-13 heading into the fourth quarter. And we outscored the Buccaneers 10-3 in the final frame, and that's what won us the game. Close the fight in the championship rounds. That's who we are. That's what we do. Do it again. Next offensive key. Protect Jaden and the Duke. That goes without saying. I say that every week because it's so important to what we do. Right? We have been a very effective team taking care of football. Playoff football, there's a small margin for error. Small, minute. Turnovers aren't allowed. Sometimes it's the team that just doesn't turn it over, the team that doesn't make the mistakes that wins the game. That's a lot of the narrative from last week. We didn't make the mistakes, they did. Do that again, right? No turnovers. None. And only 2 sacks for Jaden in the game because, again, I always just allow us, and they blitz. So they may catch us off guard once or twice, right? I would prefer them to not come on third downs. So 2 sacks, neither of them coming on third downs. But, you know, such is life. They come on the pressure on the third down, they catch us, you know, shit happens. But at the end of the day, I expect Jaden to be able to break contain. I expect Jaden to be able to make them pay. I expect Jaden to be able to pick them apart with his arm, beat them with his legs. They come with pressure. We got to make them pay. Protect the football and protect Jaden. Next offensive key. Manufacture positive yards on early downs. Beat man coverage and the blitz on third downs. So one of the biggest advantages we had last week, despite not having a consistent run game, was we were able to manufacture positive plays on early downs. And whether that was misdirection runs, which we got to do now. We can't just line up mano and say we're going to block you. We got to trick you. We got to make you think it's going that way when we really running that way, right? We got to have jet sweeps. I expect the jet sweep to either OZ or Diami in this game. Like, we got to do different shit to manufacture positive plays on early downs. We were excellent in that on Sunday night against the Bucs. screens, hitches, quick RPOs on early downs. That's the type of stuff that's going to win us football. That's winning football for us. You have to adjust and adapt. We can't run the ball. And the Lions are one of the best run defenses in football. So we probably not going to run it again in this game. That doesn't mean you stop trying. You just got to be creative. And a quick pass, a screen on first down is just as effective as a run. So do that. If B-Rob is averaging 2.7 yards a carry, okay, cool. Let him be a receiver. He can still help. Same with Eck or any other back you decide to put in the game. Jaden, a part of the run game, is mandatory. That's a part of what we do. So, again, continue to run the ball with Jaden. Continue to put pressure on the defense. And manufacture good offense on early downs. And we got to beat man coverage and the blitz on third downs. We know it's coming. We talked about it last night. We know it's coming. They play man coverage over 60% of the time, and they blitz over 38% of the time. Those two overlap. You're getting man coverage behind a blitz. So be prepared. Be prepared for that. And beat it. What am I looking for? We talked about the feast or famine nature of the Lions defensively. Hey, look. They're going to get you sometimes. But when you get them, they give up more yards per attempt than any team in the league on third downs when they get beat, when they blitz. Over 12 yards per attempt. So I'm looking for 4 plays of 20 yards or more in this game. And I don't care if it's on the ground with Jaden's legs. I don't care if it's a screen to Eckler that pops for 27. I don't care if it's a wide receiver screen to De'Ami Brown that pops for 32. I don't care if it's an RPO, catch and run for Terry that goes for 33. I don't give a shit what it looks like. Or if it's just a flat-out deep ball man-to-man and we catch them sleeping. I don't care what it looks like. Or Jaden finally pops that 70-yard touchdown run we've been waiting on all year. Whatever it looks like, I just got to have it. They're going to be aggressive. They got to pay for it. You live by the blitz, you die by the blitz. Last offensive key. Win on third and fourth downs, red zone, and time of possession. Right? Win on third and fourth downs, red zone, and time of possession. On third downs, you know the formula. We've talked about it all year. This team is 12-0 now when they have converted over 40% of their third downs, 40% or better. Our season average was roughly 46%. So 45% is what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. 45% or better in the game on third downs. And we already know you're not going to convert all your third downs. So we might be in those situations where, hey, we're going for it on fourth down. So last week taught me something about, what I'm asking for now. Because last week I wanted 100%, but I didn't think we were going for it 5 times on fourth down. I was thinking more along the lines of 2, maybe 3, right? 3 is pushing it, but we could go for it 3 times if we need to. I never thought we'd go for it 5 times. So now, knowing that what we're capable of and knowing what it's going to take this game because we're playing a team that likes to go for it on fourth down as well, knowing that we need to win time of possession and steal a possession or 2, 3 or less fourth down attempts, I'm looking for 100%. 100%. You go for it once, 100%, 1 of 1. You go for it twice, 2 of 2. You go for it 3 times, 3 of 3, on 100%. Now, if we charter into that 4 or more territory, so you go for it 4 times, you go for it 5 times, I'm okay with 60% or better. All right? 60% or better. Go for it 4 times, then you need to be 3 or 4. You go for it 5 times, you can be 3 or 5. That's 60%. You can still win the football game doing that. Red zone. This has been the mile marker for me the last about 3 weeks now. We got to score points in the red zone. We were not effective enough in the red zone last week. It almost cost us. I don't care how successful you are on 4th down. If you don't finish the drive with a touchdown, then it all goes for naught. Unless you get a field goal still out of it, you got points. But if you're willing to go for it on 4th down once on the drive, then if you close again, it's almost like, yo, if I went for it then, what are we talking about right now? Might as well do it again, right? We need to finish these drives with touchdowns. We can't, that shit last week where we got to the 1 yard line, we got a pass interference in the end zone, and we can't punch it in from the one. Like, that shit can't happen, man. We got to be better than that. You get the ball at the 1, we too damn good to not be able to punch it in from the 1 yard line. That shit is unacceptable. We can't have that shit this week. That was bullshit last week. To be at the 1 yard line, De'Ami Brown's screen took us to the 3 yard line, and we couldn't get in. That's trash. That's unacceptable. We had to settle for a field goal on the De'Ami Brown drive when he got us to the 3 yard line. And then De'Ami drew a flag on a 3rd down in the end zone, got us to the 1, and we failed to get in on a 4th down. That's unacceptable. Unacceptable. Three or 4 in the red zone. Anything less than 4 attempts, 100%. You go 3 times, 3 of 3. You go 2 times, 2 of 2. 1 of 1. Obviously, if you only go in the red zone 1 time, we got issues. If we only going in the red zone 1 or 2 times, unless we scoring from outside the red zone, we got issues. We got issues. Because that hasn't been who we've been all season. We don't score outside of the red zone very often. That ain't who we've been this season. So just plan for, 3 or 4 or 5 trips, 6 trips to the red zone. And if that's the case, you're allowed 1 missed opportunity in the red zone after 3 attempts, right? So 4 or more, you're allowed 1 missed opportunity in the red zone. So 3 or 4 or 4 or 5. That's what I'm envisioning us getting to. 4 or 5 attempts in the red zone. You get there 5 times and you score 4, that's 28 points, assuming you make all your extra points. That's going to put us in a position to win this game. You get there 4 times, you score 3 touchdowns, that's 21 points. Assuming that you kick 3 or 4, 2 or 3 field goals, you're in a position to win this game. Anything less than 3 touchdowns in this game, ain't no way you winning. Ain't no way you winning this game. This ain't going to be played in the teens. So you got to score touchdowns. Got to win in the red zone. And in time of possession, I want to win this by 5 minutes or more, time of possession, right? Like to me, that's the only way we're going to win this game unless somehow the defense miraculously shows up or they turn the ball over and they making a ton of mistakes. But if we're not winning time of possession, it's almost hard for me to envision us winning this game unless we're scoring with explosive plays, scoring touchdowns. So these drives are a lot quicker. That's the only way that I can envision us winning this game without winning time of possession. But really, it's got to be us winning time of possession and dominating time of possession and controlling the football and controlling the pace of this game. So those are your offensive keys to victory. You go to the defensive side of the football. Start with your first defensive key to victory. Weather the early storm and produce winning time moments late. So I just talked about this with the offense. That crowd is going to be raucous. They're going to be ginned and juiced up for this game. They smell blood. They smell an opportunity to host an NFC Championship game for the first time in franchise history, and we're standing in the way. They out for blood. It's going to be loud. It's going to be turned up. It's Saturday night. They ain't got to work tomorrow. They ain't even thinking about tomorrow. They thinking about right now. How can we make life living hell for the Commanders? You got to shut them up. You got to shut them up. You got to slow them down early. You know, if we win the toss and we defer and they get the ball and they drive that hole right down the field and score a touchdown, that is not good. That's not good. But if you get a stop and you force them to punt or they go for it on fourth down and they don't get it, you've weathered the storm. What we don't want in this game is for this shit to snowball on us. Defense, you're in charge of that to a degree. Like complimentary football, obviously you give up a touchdown, the offense can go respond and get a touchdown back like we did against Cincinnati. This is why I said we the most dangerous team. We've been in all of these spots before. So what if they score on the opening possession? Arizona scored on the first possession on the road, and guess what we did? We matched their energy, went down and scored a touchdown. Same environment. Monday night, Cincinnati, they had to have it, 0-2. They knew they had to have it. They went down, Jamar Chase, big ball, touchdown, and they juiced up. And what we do? Went for it on fourth down and 6, got it, and scored a touchdown and matched their energy. We've been here before. But at some point, you got to weather the storm. We can't do the tit for tat shit. At some point, you got to get a stop. You got to produce a turnover. You got to do something to impact the game. And then produce a winning time moment late. All I'm asking you to do, this is your one job in this game, defense. This is it. I'm not asking you for nothing else. I ain't asking you for no turnovers. Just, just get us to the end of this game, 5 minutes or less, with a chance for Jaden Daniels to possess the football with a chance to win. That is your one and only job in this game, is to get Jaden Daniels the football with 5 minutes or less in this game with a chance to win and move the hell out of the way. That is your job. You have no other job in this game. If you do nothing else, just get us to the winning time moment and get it to Jaden, and he'll do the rest. You do that, we'll celebrate you like you a goddamn champion with a hero's welcome. Whether you did it or not, you'll get the praise and the glory. That's your job. Next defensive key. Be Dr. Robotnik against the run. Yeah, they got Sonic and Knuckles. And Dr. Robotnik never wins. But you know what he don't do? He don't quit. He don't give up. And he ain't never dead at the end. So what I'm telling you is, you ain't stopping Sonic and Knuckles. We already know what we are as a run defense. And I'm not going to even fix my mouth to even ask you to stop them. That's dumb. I know who you are. I've watched you for 18 weeks. I already know what you are. I'm just asking you to be Dr. Robotnik. Keep trying crazy shit like Dr. Robotnik does. It may or may not work, but keep fighting. He always does. He always comes back. He ain't never dead. And I need y'all to do that in this game. Yeah, you're going to give up some runs, man. You're going to get gashed a couple times, right? Their season average is 146. I'm looking for 130 or less in this game. That's a tough ask, man. I know I'm over here tripping. I was about to set it at 150, but I'm like, that's not even an average. You tripping. You being disrespectful to the defense. I'm going to give you a shot. You know what else I'm looking for? No runs of 30 yards or more. Look, they're going to pop a 20 on us once or twice in this game. As the day is long, I'm just as confident you giving up a 23 or 27-yard run to Jahmyr Gibbs at some point in this game. Maybe twice. Don't let it get to 30. I would prefer none of these to hit the end zone, right? They score on the ground. Let it be from 4 yards out. Let it be from 2 yards out. But at the end of the day, I just need you to fight. Just be Dr. Robotnik, man. I know they got Sonic and Knuckles. They kick ass. But Dr. Robotnik, he ain't no bitch. And neither are y'all. So I need y'all to stand on business. Just fight, man. That's all I'm asking for. Just fight. Be Dr. Robotnik. Come back for more. Next defensive key. Rattle Jared Goff's cage early and often. This to me is the biggest key after the run game, because they could take Jared Goff out of the game by running for 237 yards and 4 touchdowns. I mean, Jared Goff is rendered irrelevant at that point. They don't need Jared Goff to do shit. That's what we don't want. We need Jared Goff to be a central figure for them to win this game. And you notice I didn't say make Jared Goff beat us, because his ass can and will beat us. His ass can and will beat us if we don't rattle his cage. That's the most important thing, is if you get to Jared Goff early. I've watched this man's entire career start to where we are now. I probably have watched every single game Jared Goff has ever played in his NFL career. I know the man like the back of my damn hand. And I'm going to tell you right now, if you get to his ass early, you can fluster him. You can fluster him. You can get in his head. He get into a rhythm, it's God bless and good night. Peace. We done. Our season's over. Is he going to carve our ass up? 4th downs, he going to be unflappable. We don't get the pressure on him. We don't hit him a little bit. Even if you don't hit him, you got to get him off of his spot. He don't want to run. He don't want to move. His accuracy decreases when he has to move. Go watch the NFC Championship game from last year, the 2 4th downs that they failed on late in that game. One was a pass that should have been caught, but it wasn't his most accurate ball. Why? Because he had to move. The other 4th down, he throws that thing to green grass. Nobody. Why? Because he had to move. You got to get him off the spot. If he's back there posted up, comfortable, comfy, cozy, he's going to complete over 70% of his passes, slice and dices. But again, it starts by being Dr. Robotnik against the run. If they don't have to throw the ball, Ben Johnson will run that bitch 42 times, and Jared Goff will throw it 18 times. Trust me, if we not stopping the run, we will get a heavy dose of that shit. But if you can at least slow them down, put them in some 3rd down situations, whether that's, and this is what I need. I haven't asked y'all for this all year long. I haven't singled anybody out, but I'm pleading today because it's all hands on deck, and I need it. I need it. If we gonna shock the world, I need a hero. I'm calling out 3 dudes in particular. I need somebody to step up and be a hero. Frankie Louvu, Dorrance Armstrong, Dante Fowler Jr. I need one of y'all. If all of y'all want to come to the party, cool, right? The more the better. But I need one of y'all to be a havoc wreaker in this game. I need one of y'all to step up and say, hey, I'm going to do it. I got it. I'm going to draw 2 holding penalties, and I'm going to get a sack in the game. I need somebody to step up. Dante Fowler Jr., I ain't seen you in like 3 weeks, bro. You got 10 and a half. I need you. Frankie, where did you go, bro? I need you. This is when I need you. Dorrance, you've been close. You was close last week. 2 times. I need it, bro. Dante, you forced a holding last week. I need it. Y'all got to step up. If y'all don't do it, ain't nobody else going to do it. We need pressure on the quarterback. I need somebody. Frankie, Fowler Jr., Dorrance, somebody. Dante, somebody step up. I need one of y'all. This is the game right here. I need one of y'all. If y'all don't do it, it ain't getting done. Five or more quarterback hits, 3 sacks, or less than 65% completion percentage for Jared Goff. Y'all can do it, man. Y'all can do it. One of y'all, somebody, anybody. We need a hero. Last defensive key. Fight on 3rd and 4th downs and in the red zone. Look, I know who I'm talking to. I know our limitations. So I'm not sitting here asking you to win. You didn't hear me say win. I said fight, man. Just put up a fight. Show some gumption, show some mettle, right? Just put up a fight. Show some resistance. They're going to get theirs. They're a 15-2 team averaging over 400 yards a game. They scored 33 points a game. Like, they're going to score, bro. They're going to convert on 3rd downs. They're going to convert on 4th downs. I know they're going to get it done in the red zone, because if they don't get it done on 3rd down, they're going for it on 4th down. And I'm going to tell you the play to look for in some crucial 4th downs in the red zone, especially inside the 10-yard line. Look for Jahmyr Gibbs on that damn Texas route, that little arrow route over the middle of the field. I don't give a shit how you got to defend it. Defend that shit. Because that's their bread and butter when they get down there. They're looking for Gibbs out of the backfield to win. Be all over that shit. Make one of these other busters catch the damn ball. They do that, so be it. But don't let it be Gibbs out of the backfield Texas route. Don't try to ask one dude to cover him neither. Not in those situations. You got to have a guy working on the outside and a guy working on the inside. Take him away. I guarantee you that play's coming. If they get inside the 10-yard line in a 4th down situation, it's 4th and 3 or 4th and goal from the 5, and they decide to go for it, I guarantee you that play's coming. Please take that away. Please take that away. Look, just fight. That's all I'm asking for. Fight on 3rd downs, fight on 4th downs, fight in the red zone. Just fight. I know we had a disadvantage. I know they're better than us. I told you every game from here on out, the opposition's offense is going to be better than our defense. So I'm not expecting you to win. I'm expecting you to fight. What does fighting look like? On 3rd downs, 45% or less. That's what I'm looking for. Look, I know what they are. They converted on over 46% of their 3rd downs this season. Asking you to keep them to 40% or less that's negligent on my part. That's unrealistic. The Bucs were 50%. They went 5 of 9 on 3rd downs. 55, 58%, whatever that. I think that was 55% that amounted to. Like, come on, man. I know who y'all are. Just fight, right? On 4th downs, 50% or less on 4th downs. They go for it twice on 4th down, 1 of 2. They go for it on 4th down 4 times, 2 of 4. They go for it 3 times, make them 1 of 3. That could be the difference in the game. Because like Joe Wick Jr. said, I've always told y'all this. A 4th down stop is a turnover to me. They don't show it on the stat sheet as a turnover. That's a turnover. You might as well have fumbled the ball. You might as well have thrown an interception. That's a turnover, bro. That might be the difference in the game. Them going for it on 4th down and not getting it. It was the difference in the NFC Championship game last year when they lost. The difference in that game was Dan Campbell going for it, rolling the dice, and it didn't come up nice. Twice. And then in the red zone, if it's an odd number of trips, 66% or less. If it's an even number, 50% or less. What does that mean? Simple math. If it's 2 trips to the red zone, 1 of 2, 50%. If it's 4 trips to the red zone, 2 of 4, 50% or less, right? Hell, 1 of 4, great, even better. If it's 6 trips to the red zone, 3 of 6. You get where I'm going with this, all right? If it's an odd number, 66%. or less. So 3 trips to the red zone, 2 of 3. That's 66%. Right? 5 trips to the red zone, 3 of 5, 60%. I'll take it. I'll take it. We got to stand up in the red zone. If they scoring touchdowns every time they get down there, I don't know how we're going to keep up. I don't know how we're going to keep up. We got to slow them down. Got to slow them down. So with that said, those are the keys. Those are as specific keys as I've given all season long because I've been here, right? I've been watching this Lions team all year. Y'all know I watch every team in the league. But I didn't know we were going to be here, but I knew if we wanted to get to where we wanted to go, we was going to have to go through a team like Detroit. Well, here we are. So what does this game look like? Here's my final outcome. I'm going to tell you exactly how I got to this score. Commanders 27, Lions 26. The legend of Jaden Daniels grows to epic proportions after this one. So here's how we get to this score. You're looking at a 20-17 ball game in the fourth quarter. Lions are up. We kick a field goal to tie the game up at 20, early stages of the fourth. Lions then go on a drive. They scored a touchdown. Matter of fact, Lions are up 20-17, and they're threatening to start the fourth quarter. They score a touchdown to go up 26-17. But their place kicker, Jake Bates, missed an extra point early in the game, so they go chasing the 2 points right here. You could go that way with it, or he could just miss the extra point right here in this moment to make it a 6-point game at 26-20. So it could go one of 2 ways. Either they chase the points from earlier in the game when he missed, or it's 20-20, they scored a touchdown, and then he misses the extra point. Either way, they're up 26-20, and Jaden Daniels gets the football with 4 minutes and 47 seconds left. And you know what time it is. He did it again. And just like I told you last week, whether you like it or you don't like it, this game is coming down to a Zane Gonzalez kick. This time of the extra point variety. So brace yourself, okay? So what we do, you can't go through a Commanders game without almost having a heart attack. Well, here's another one. But just like he did last week, he delivers, and we win this game 27-26, and on to the NFC Championship. The Cardiac Commanders go, a.k.a. the Clutch Commanders. So the 2 kickers we wanted, well, one we had and the other one we wanted, both blow it in the postseason. Brandon McManus, who all y'all, did you see Brandon McManus? His ass missed in the playoffs last week. Yeah, I saw him. He missed a critical kick early in that game when Green Bay needed momentum. He missed. Chip shot, too. And then Jake Bates. We all wanted. I'm guilty. I wanted Jake Bates, too. But he chose to stay in Detroit. He was already there, indoors. Good football team. He did the right thing. But he on the list, too. He on the list with Dan Campbell, with Ben Johnson, with Amon-Ra St. Brown. Jake Bates on that list, too, because he chose Detroit. He ain't choose us. A wise man once told me, those who play hard to get don't get got. Pop, pop. We got a little something for Jake Bates, too. What says you? Leave it down in the comment section. Score and more. How does this thing go? Looking forward to your responses. Can't wait to see what you guys have to say. But that's going to do it for me, your man Louie T, here on Commanders Nightly News. I'm gonna be live during the game, and I'm gonna be live post game. Obviously, as soon as it's done, win, lose, there ain't no draws in the playoffs. Either you win or you lose. Whatever it is, we gonna celebrate. I told y'all that last week, man. This is the beginning of something special, but why can't it be the beginning of 4 or 5 Super Bowls? Why can't this be the first of 4 or 5 Super Bowls? Nobody ever said that this was the beginning of something special, meaning that we weren't going to win it all. You win this game, and ain't nobody stopping us. This is the one. This is the one. You clear this hurdle, and it ain't no hurdle bigger than this one. See if we can get it. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Here comes the diesel. Here comes the diesel. There's the snap, hand to Riggins. Good hold. He's got the first down to the 40. He's gone.